If you haven't already, we're sitting in advisory groups. We apologize, the signs are not out, but it's March and you know where we sit during assemblies. So thank you for finding your seat. Awesome, welcome to Sunday. We are so excited to have Todd Parr here today with us to give us an amazing story about how he's gotten to hear how he followed his passions. And as we all know, following your passions, trying to achieve your dreams is not easy. It doesn't come without commitment, focus, persistence, and grit. And so hopefully he will be able to tell you about all of those things. Raise your hand if you've worked with Todd already last week. All right, excellent. Raise your hand if you're going to work with him this week. Great. So he is here today, and he's about to share an amazing story about what he does. Thank you so much for welcoming him. Let's give him a big, warm round of applause.
Thank you. As some of you know, you already have heard my name. It's Todd Parr. It's one of those names that you just like to combine, especially the younger kids. I have a first name and a last name, but it's just Todd Parr. So you can call me Todd Parr, or you can call me Todd Party. School in Chicago did this, so hashtag Todd Party. I'm an author and an illustrator of children's books. So far, I've written over 45. I'm working on book number 50 right now. And how many of you would like to write your own book? How many of you think you can draw better than me? Everyone, raise your hand. How many of you think that teachers and librarians are the coolest people in the world? If you did raise your hands, you have to leave. So always raise your hand. Have a seat. That's a lesson for you. When you get asked that question, you always raise your hands. Okay, so today I'm going to share a little bit about how I got started. I realize that you are older than who I write for, but when someone says, Todd, what age groups do you write for? I say 4 to 8 and adult. And I'm going to show you why I believe that through my work. So I am going to share a couple of my books with you. I'll talk a little bit about how I got an F in high school art class and where I went after that. I brought along some other information about me. We'll try and do some questions at the very end, and for the art students that I've already seen, you'll see a few things that you've already seen, but not everything, so just bear with me on that. How many of you grew up on my books? It's 20 years now that I've been doing this. Okay, quite a few. Wow, cool. They're translated into 16 different languages. And I'm really happy to be here. I get to do a lot of traveling. We've kind of been doing a collaborative art project with the school, with high school, and the elementary. So these are some that the high school have done, and it's really just taken an interpretation of my artwork of messages and black line art. And then what we thought, we'd work with the younger kids to get them to color in some of the images. So this is what we saw up in high school. Now this is either Todd Parr's original work, or it happened in the elementary school this week. It's a little of both, I think. So it's like books, art brings people together. So the message of my work is about kindness, empowering you to feel good about who you are, learning about differences, reminding you to be kind. And it's reflected in my artwork. This artwork will stay with the school. After I leave, it'll be something to continue on. I want you to have fun. You're here to have fun. My goal is to motivate you and inspire you. And on those days when you're thinking about giving up on something, hopefully you'll think of me and keep moving. I'm going to start with It's Okay to Be Different. I've got 2 books that I want to share with you. And the reason I'm sharing these with you is because one of these books, It's Okay to Be Different, best describes what I try and do in all my books. If you have not heard of me, I say It's Okay to Be Different was the book that really defined what I try and do in all my books. And the second one is the underwear book. And if you write messages like I do about peace, love, kindness, be who you are, love the world, they're complicated messages for really young kids to understand. But if you rely on humor, unpredictability, and the simplicity of my art, how many of you think I look like I draw like a 6-year-old? It's okay. I'm proud of that. That's exactly why kids are interested in my books. So we'll start out with It's Okay to Be Different. It's okay to be missing a tooth or 2 or 3. It's okay to need some help. It's okay to have a different nose. It's okay to be a different color. It's okay to have no hair. It's okay to have big ears. It's okay to have wheels. It's okay to be small, medium, large, or extra large. Raise your hands if you think I'm medium. Large. We'll keep going. It's okay to wear glasses. It's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to eat macaroni and cheese in the bathtub. And I put that in this book because I thought, Todd, this book's getting too serious. Put something in that young kids will think, why did he do that? And then it caught on, and then moms and dads were really unhappy with me around the world for this. It's okay to say no to bad things. It's okay to come from a different place. It's okay to be embarrassed. It's okay to come in last. It's okay to dance by yourself. How many of you would like to see me do the worm? How many of you would like to see me do the nay-nay? It's not going to happen. It's okay to have a pet worm. It's okay to be proud of yourself. It's okay to have different moms. It's okay to have different dads. It's okay to be adopted. It's okay to have an invisible friend. It's okay to do something nice for someone. It's okay to lose your mittens. It's okay to get mad. It's okay to do something nice for yourself. It's okay to help a squirrel collect nuts. It's okay to have different kinds of friends. It's okay to make a wish. It's okay to be different. You are special and important just because of being who you are. The end. Love, Todd. Thank you. There's proof that you can eat macaroni and cheese in the bathtub, and then I get asked, Todd, do you do that? No, I do not. And it's okay to be missing a tooth, or 2 or 3. The next book I'm going to share with you is what saves me when I'm dealing with K1, K2, preschool, first grade, second grade, and it's the underwear book. And we'll move on from this. But these are 2 very different books for me, but I wanted you to get an idea of how do have lots of different kinds of underwear. Don't wear it all at once. Do wash your underwear. Don't use too much soap. Do put your clean underwear away. Don't put it in the freezer. Do wear underwear to the beach. Don't go surfing in it. Do go shopping for underwear with a hippo. Don't let her try them on. Do wear new underwear on the first day of school. Don't bring it for show and tell. Do dress your dog up in underwear. Don't use your sister's favorite pair. Do wear fancy underwear under your dress. Don't hang upside down on the monkey bars. Do give cool underwear as a present. Don't buy the wrong size. Do wear underwear when you go trick-or-treating. Don't wear it over your costume. Do go swimming in your underwear. Don't jump off the diving board. Do wear polka dot underwear to a party. Don't wear a plain pair. Do wear striped underwear if you're a zebra. Don't wear polka dotted ones. Last 2, do bring extra underwear when you go fishing. Don't use it as bait. No matter what underwear you wear, always feel good about yourself. The end. Love, Todd. Like that one? All right, here's the beginning, and this is a very simplified version of the beginning. I arrived here on Earth in a spaceship. I'm from planet Todd World. It's right by Berkeley, California. I lived in the bathtub where I ate macaroni and cheese. This is my house growing up, gingerbread house. My family. And this is my resume. When I have to get another job, this is what I would use. Hi, I'm Todd. I live in Berkeley, California. It's close to San Francisco. I grew up in Wyoming. I like to cook, paint, and draw, but I failed art class. Now I create books for kids. My books are about love, kindness, families, feeling good, and sometimes they are silly. I love animals, the fox, sea lions, dolphins, skunks, sports, and my dogs, Pete, Tater, Todd, and Jerry. Would I get a job as principal of this school with that? How about as a librarian? How about as a teacher? How about working at McDonald's? Okay. All right, second grade, I had trouble reading. I think I've shared this. Miss Donna turned me around. I had to repeat second grade because of it with dyslexia. Some of the kids that found out about it made fun of me. That inspired It's Okay to Be Different. My favorite thing to do growing up was draw. This is some of my earlier artwork. I've come a long way, haven't I? Yes, no. Second grade, my shirt and my sweater were one piece that were sewn together. You put it on over your head so you wouldn't mess it up. High school, I don't know what happened. My brain. Anyone relate? My favorite food, macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese, tacos. My kids, Pete, Tater, Todd, and Jerry. This is Tater Tot. She's taking a nap in the sun. Who doesn't like a giant tater tot baking in the sun? I think these are their UAE flag sweaters. And that's my dog Bully. You've seen some artwork with Bully in it. The only reason was because of my dog Bully. He was in some of my earlier books. They're all adopted from an animal rescue. I took the Pete and Tater Tot first. A few years ago, they said, Todd, would you come do a book signing so we could advertise it and get more people in to adopt the animals? And I said, sure. And then they brought over Jerry, and they said, he's 1 year old, he's been in the shelter all his life, and he has to find a home. And I said, you tricked me, and I cannot have 3 dogs. I left with another dog. I have 3. When I got to high school, I sailed through middle school. I did pretty good in middle school. I got pretty good grades for the most part, on my artwork especially. Then I got to high school, and I had an art teacher that just was not willing to let me deviate from anything that he said had to be done. It was his way or no way. And with respect, I just wanted to do my own thing and express myself. I got an F on my final project. I'll show you that in just a minute. And then he said, I would advise you to do something other than art. You will probably never be an artist. So I remembered Snoopy, and this is when I won first prize in elementary school. Here's some of the things that happened after he told me that I would never be an artist. I got a job as a flight attendant for United Airlines. And then traveling does wonders for someone with low self-confidence. Low self-esteem. So after traveling, I came back to this art thing and said, this is what I really want to do. These are 4-foot by 4-foot canvases that later became a premise for some of my artwork. I started putting my artwork on everything that I could. Eventually led to clothing. This is in Macy's. FAO Schwartz in New York. That's 5th and 55th there. Inside? San Francisco? Can you imagine walking down the street in New York or San Francisco if your art teacher said, "You're never going to make it as an artist," how you might feel? Pretty good. So my first 4 books came out in 1998, and then with the other merchandise, this is Toys R Us Japan. So if you needed contact lens cases, diapers, dishes, markers, stuffed animals, chopsticks with my artwork on it, you could get it. And then the manager of Toys R Us wanted me to sign his car in spray paint, so I ruined a Honda Accord. I get to do a lot of traveling. All the artwork looks the same. It looks like I did it, or the 4, 5, and 6-year-olds did it. This is China, year before last, Shanghai. And Brazil, 22 of my books are in Portuguese. Yay, Brazil. Bom dia. I get my own parking space once. I was on a bookmobile, and I do a lot of stuff with my books, which I'll talk more about in just a few minutes, that benefits reading and other charities. We always have mac and cheese at schools. I think this is the time Annie's Mac and Cheese had a contest, and this school won a garden for their school. And then we served macaroni and cheese to 500 kids. Another lunchroom meal. We're having it today, in fact, actually. One school baked a cake. One librarian in China made cakes out of all my books. Who doesn't want a giant chocolate pink underwear cake for your birthday? And then it caught on. Dear Todd Parr, I get a lot of letters, a lot of email, a lot of art. This is Maggie. Me and Todd Parr. I'm not sure which one is Maggie and which one is me. I do not look like Humpty Dumpty. Maybe a little bit. Here I am again. I don't know what I'm wearing, but I think I'm dabbing. Here I am again. I don't know what they see. I don't see this. This is from Juan. Dear Todd Parr, you are a good writer, but not my favorite. Dear Todd Parr, hi, my name is Antonio Martinez. I like reading, math, and science. I'm in the 3rd grade at AMLA. I like sports like football, soccer, tag, and running. I like to eat pizza, shrimp, fish, broccoli, carrots, apples, watermelon, nuts, chicken, and turkey. I don't like your books because they're not at my reading level. Dear Todd Party, I don't really like your books that much. I like the Love Yourself book. What is your favorite food? From Evan. Dear Mr. Parr, thank you, Mr. Parr, for coming to our school and doing a presentation. It was really funny when you read the underwear book. I really enjoyed it. I can't believe it took you 7 years to write the goodbye book. I'm sorry, but I just don't really like your books. They're just too easy for me, but I do get the message you are sending. Best wishes, Lauren. P.S. If you can't read cursive, my name is Lauren. Seriously? Babies like to eat my books. There's proof. This next baby, she was reading it, then eating it. She laughed so hard she fell down. And this is what I'm working on. It's the 20th year, as I said, that I've been writing children's books. A lot of my books that are still selling very well. In fact, all of them are getting new covers, new formats. And then because I did these, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, Grandpa, these come out this month. Brother book and the sister book. Cars and Trucks book, a book about nothing but saying goodnight. And then I have a new animated preschool show called Doodle and Noodle Poodle that'll be out next year. I get to do fun stuff for Sesame Street. I do very flat art, so
when I started doing animation, they said, well, Todd, what do your people look like from behind? And I'm like, I've never seen them from behind. What do they look like from the side? I don't know. How do they walk? They have balls on their feet. They just move. So I've evolved, and this is one of them that I did, a recent one for Sesame Street.
Let's count my bath toys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 bath toys.
I am really impressed that you guys can count to 12. Way to go. How many of you would like to just stay home all day, take naps with your dogs, listen to music, draw, and get paid for it? That's not what I do, but it is possible. Be who you are. This is a book that it has an important message no matter how old you are. So this is something I always want you to remember. Be old, be young, be different colors, wear everything you need to be you. Speak your language, learn in your own way, be proud of where you're from, be your own family, just be who you are. Be silly, be brave, dance, play, discover, learn, read. Share your feelings, happy, mad, sad, silly, scared, proud. Just be who you are. Try new things. Be confident. Stand up for yourself. Be energetic. Be peaceful. Be the best that you can be. Just be who you are. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you are from, or who's in your family. Everyone needs to be loved. Always love yourself and be who you are. The end. Love, Todd. Thank you. And this is my message to you. Be yourself. Don't try and be like someone else. Be yourself and know that is good enough. Stop trying to be somebody else. Don't try and be someone else. Don't try and act like someone else. Be secure. Rely and trust upon your own decisions. Be yourself and know that is good enough. Thank you. So I like to use my art and my books to help others and work with other companies. So these are some that I've partnered with to help give back. So I'll show you some of these. This is with Stouffer's. We created a book, Let's Fix Dinner, and it was about getting families to spend more time at dinner and how that helps kids. And all the proceeds from this book went to Habitat for Humanity to build housing. And these are some of the other companies that I share either my time or my artwork with to help others. Food banks are big that I partner with them, getting kids involved and helping their community, I think makes them better human beings. And I always ask, what can you do to make the world a better place? This happened today. Good job, huh? And before we do questions, I'm going to share one more book because this is the book that I think best shows the way that my message really does carry to older kids, and I'll share a story about this book in the end. It's hard to say goodbye to someone. You might not know what to feel. You might be very sad. You might be very mad. You might not feel like talking to anyone. You might just feel like hiding. Things might not seem fun anymore. You might not feel like eating. You might not feel like sleeping. You might try and stop thinking about it. You might pretend it didn't happen. You might be confused. But eventually, you'll start to feel better. You'll remember how you laughed. You'll remember all the fun you had. You'll have days when you'll feel up and days when you'll feel down. You'll remember all the special times. You'll remember everything you learned together. You might feel like talking to someone. You might even feel like drawing a picture. You might wonder where they went or what they are doing now. Most of all, you'll remember how much you love and you miss them. You'll go on and try and be brave, and you'll remember that there will always be someone to love you and hold you tight. We all get sad when we say goodbye to someone we love. Always try and remember all the happy times you shared together. The end. Love, Todd. Thank you. Shortly after that book came out, I got an email from someone who was in her 70s, 70-year-old, and she said that a friend of hers had shared this book with her after she had recently lost her husband of 55 years of marriage. And she said, for the first time in 2 weeks, I was actually able to sleep after reading your comforting words. And I extend my condolences to you because someone could not have written a book like this unless you had experienced loss yourself. And I thought that was a very powerful, moving, unsolicited email from somebody in their 70s to look at one of my picture books and then write me, but more importantly, that it gave her comfort. So I think that no matter how old you are, picture books are an important thing because sometimes it's just easier to read a few words and see a few images. It simplifies it, and if you're a visual learner like I am, sometimes it has more meaning in the less is more approach. So I don't do poetry, and I think about chapter novels all the time, but I realize that I just need to embrace who I am and be proud of what I do instead of thinking, why didn't I write Harry Potter? I'm just embracing what I do, and if you can do that too, we all get a little bit lost. We all search and think that we need to be somebody that we're not. Sometimes you have the best thing it is, and you just need to embrace that and do your best at it, and I think good things will come. I think we have time for some questions. I don't know if we have a mic out there, though. There's an extra one here. Mr. Roche will help me out.
Just yell, you. Yes, you.
Who's my favorite dog? Do you have brothers and sisters? What would your mom or dad say if you asked them that? You? I love all my children the same. Okay.
What's your favorite book that you wrote?
My favorite book that I wrote is It's Okay to Be Different, for the reasons I told you, and also the underwear book, because it makes young kids laugh. And then my favorite books that I didn't write were Go Dog Go, Green Eggs and Ham, Are You My Mother, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, and Dragons Love Tacos.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport would be baseball. And I also like football. It could be both American football and soccer. Yes. All right, hold on.
Where did you get the inspiration to make the underwear book?
Where did I get the inspiration to make the underwear book?
Underwear are just funny. If you're 5 years old and you mention underwear in the library, you're going to see laughter, no matter what. So it's just humor that makes things, I try and think of things that make kids laugh.
At what moment were you like most proud of what you were doing?
I've had a few moments of what I was most proud. I think showing up in New York after the artwork was installed in FAO Schwartz, that was a really touching moment to walk up and see that, especially after the path that I had had. I had a lot of difficulties growing up in my home life. My mom died when I was really young, and some things you just feel like you don't recover from. And I struggled in school with a learning disability that no one really recognized, because things like dyslexia and ADD and all these terms were never really used that I remember. I was just placed in a slow class. And then after my experience in art, I was pretty beaten down, and when I got out in the world, when I started traveling, it really slowly helped build my confidence back, because I saw how other people lived, and I saw other cultures, and I learned about differences, and it really made me a better person. And so when you have these moments, when you think the odds are really basically stacked against you, because when I look back and look at a lot of what's happened with me, I'm not sure how it happened. I use the word denial. I think I was in denial a lot. That's the only way that I got through. But you have these proud moments when you say, you know, look what I've done. And I have them all the time, and especially with my books, because I don't just get to write children's books. I don't just have a fun job that lots of people would like to have, but I get to write about things that help make a difference. And my books translate around the world, and I've given the rights to my books to be printed in other places where they have no books, they barely have a school. And the message that's throughout my books, I hope makes a difference. I hope that it empowers kids to feel more confident and to learn quicker than what I did. So you have a lot of proud moments in doing this. Being here in your school could be a proud moment. Not every author gets invited to your school. You have to be somebody that they really think you're going to benefit and want to be from. And they asked me, I didn't ask them, and I'm honored to be here. So I'm kind of having a moment in Dubai. And I've been eating hummus every single morning and afternoon, and I love it. Next.
After your art teacher told you you shouldn't do art anymore, did he talk back to you anymore, like restrictions at doing art?
I do not know if my art teacher ever knew what happened with me. I think he passed away shortly after my first books were out. If I had the opportunity to speak with him, I would have just said, I'm sorry that I was a difficult student. I'm sorry that I did not pay attention. I'm sorry that I was determined to do what I wanted to do. However, if you could have just found something positive to tell me, like, Todd, you do really nice circles, or Todd, you choose really bright colors, that would have went so much further than what he did say to me. And teachers, really, when you're younger, there's nobody higher than a teacher, especially when you're really young and you see your teacher in a grocery store. You can't believe you ran into your teacher. You tell your mom, there's my teacher. And when you see her drive by, she drives a car. They're just amazing, and you look up to teachers, especially as you get older. And if they say something positive, you feel really, really good. And if they say something that's not so nice, maybe they don't mean it. Maybe they're maybe they've got stuff going on. They're human. But it also does the reverse. It can devastate you. So I would just say something positive.
art?
The process of my art, I started with marker and paper. I moved to canvas and acrylic. Now I do everything digitally. If you've seen me in art class, or I will see you in art class later today, I explain that process further. But everything I do is digitally. I prefer to work that way. I can work much quicker. I have a very short attention span. When I get excited about a book, I want to see how it's going to come together, so I can't stop. Painting slows me down too much. I've got to think about it. So everything is digital for me now.
Can you do the worm?
I have, how about if we do this? There was somebody the other day that did the worm. Would the person that did the worm like to come back up and demonstrate again? There's always somebody that does the worm in middle school. Come on up. Come on up. No? I'm going to have to ask your principal then to do the worm. So one of you had better come up here and do that so that your principal does not have to do it. All right.
You guys are being shy.
Okay. All right. It's really, 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 really hard to come up in front of a crowd. And think about yourselves. If you write a book, think about if you get a job. What if you had to speak to 2,000 librarians? Do you think you'd be nervous? I think you would. I don't care how many times you get up in front of a crowd, you're always a little bit nervous. So it's okay. I know a lot of you do the worm, and it's okay that you don't want to come up here. All right. Well, I can tell you that I'm really happy, and so is your principal, that we did not have to do the worm. Thank you, guys.
So, how old were your dogs when you got them?
I think they were 2 to 3 years old when I got the first two, and then the other one was 1 year old. So when they're in a shelter and they arrive there, a lot of times they don't know how old they were, but they can kind of tell by their teeth. That gives them an idea. So I think they were like 2 or 3 when I got them.
Do you ever plan on making realistic fiction novels?
No, that's just not going to happen. I think what I do, when I started out writing the books that I do, no one really was doing this sort of thing, and people were like, "What are these books? Like they're not picture books. They're not stories. There's no characters. There's no pastel rabbits in them. What are these? They're funky lines. It looks like a 6-year-old did this." But the messages that were there, especially It's Okay to Be Different, when I realized how many people I heard from were looking for books to help them deal with certain things, I knew that for me, speaking from the heart, that I was doing something unique. And now a lot of people are doing similar things to what I do. And I've struggled with wanting to be somebody else, as I told you, but I'm just going to be Todd Parr. I'm going to continue to do what I do and hopefully be able to make a difference. Thank you. All right. I want to thank you guys very, very much. Keep reading. Be nice. Help others. The end. Love, Todd. Thank you.
Everyone gets particularly nervous talking to middle school students. I don't know why. All right, you guys give one more round of applause for Todd Parr, please.
Thank you.
So check out, there'll be loads and loads of high school and middle school and elementary combined art projects that are inspired by Todd all around campus over the next couple of weeks. So check it out as you wander around, and remember what Todd had to say to you here today. So we are off to next block. 6th graders, why don't you guys go first? 8th graders, 6th graders out the back. 8th graders out the front.